Live from Television Park, this is Fort Wayne's NBC News at 11.
No parent should have to lose their children like that, especially two at the same time.
A Fort Wayne community devastated tonight now that they've learned about the loss of two children after a house fire on Chancery Place. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Powell.
And I'm Linda Jackson. Thank you for being with us. The children who died just 2 years old and 11 months old. Fort Wayne's NBC reporter Louis Tran has new reaction tonight. And Louis, I understand that you talked with the woman who used to babysit one of the victims.
That's right, Linda. Danae McKim is heartbroken. She says her son used to play with 2-year-old victim Hazel DeFord, and her smile would brighten up any room. A calm and quiet day in the fort, especially on Chancery Place. Somber after this house caught fire last Thursday.
It grieves me. It grieves me.
Leaving a 2-year-old and an 11-month-old baby dead, and their mother and another child fighting for their lives.
It broke my heart so bad because they're babies. They didn't have a chance at life.
Cynthia Johnson says she was awake when police responded.
So I just seen the lights flashing, so I didn't expect that something so dramatic was going on in this neighborhood.
I just cried. I just held my son and cried.
The loss especially painful for Danae McKim. She says she used to take care of 2-year-old Hazel at a daycare center. McKim says her son and Hazel were good friends.
If you were in a bad mood, she would just brighten up your whole day. Just her smile, just brighten up the room, had a great personality.
And it shows. McKim says Hazel touched her and her son's life. And now she's encouraging parents to cherish every moment with their kids.
So you just have to choose each day and live it to your most, because you never know what could happen.
The Fort Wayne Fire Department put out the fire in 20 minutes. Now the cause of the fire is still under investigation, but the deputy fire chief told us today nothing indicates foul play.
Louis, thank you. Now an update on COVID-19 information from state and local health officials. In Allen County, another 37 people tested positive for COVID-19, bringing the total number of cases to 6,340. Health officials reported no new deaths. The death toll stands at 200. Allen County's 7-day positivity rate, or the weekly average of tests returning positive, is at 6.3%. Statewide officials confirmed another 879 positive test results, increasing the case count to 118,322. Another 11 deaths reported as well. That death toll standing tonight at 3,365. The state's 7-day positivity rate, 4.1%, Tom.
Linda, the pandemic has caused a financial strain for so many Fort Wayne families. And Fort Wayne City Utilities has tried to help with the moratorium on shutoffs, but that is about to expire. Back in March, City Utilities enacted that moratorium, but leaders with City Utilities say the pause on shutoffs is no longer sustainable, and starting October 5th, disconnections will resume. We're told the city has been calling customers who are behind on payments to help them set up payment plans to remain connected. Customers can avoid disconnects by calling customer support. You can do that Monday through Friday from 7:30 in the morning until 5:30 in the evening. You can find that number at the bottom of your screen right now. Jot it down. It's 427-1234. Again, call City Utilities 427-1234. Customers needing financial assistance can go to their township trustee's office, or you can call United Way's 211. And stay with Fort Wayne's NBC News. Our coverage of the coronavirus crisis continues on air, on social media, and online. You'll find all of our stories on this topic by clicking the banner at the top of the homepage at fortwaynesnbc.com.
Right now, let's talk weather and some changes in your forecast. We're taking a live, beautiful look at downtown Fort Wayne. After a rainy day, rain we needed, and a nice evening this evening. Some cooler weather seems to be kind of setting in, I think.
That's right. Let's get first check of your forecast now with our chief meteorologist, Chris Daniels. Hi, Chris.
Hello to you. Somewhat clear tonight, and that set the stage for a little bit of fog. There has been some out on the northeast part of town. I don't think it's going to be a huge problem tomorrow morning. In fact, we take you through the overnight hours. About 2 miles of visibility at Fort Wayne at 6:30 tomorrow morning. That's not bad. A little less over in northwest Ohio around Defiance, and Huntington too, as well as Warsaw, under half a mile. We got to 67 for the high. That was at midnight. The 4-degree guarantee, though, the hours are between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. We'll find out if we still have to pay out or not. Those results in just a little bit.
All right, Chris, thank you. Keeping it interesting for us. We appreciate it. We are less than 24 hours away now from the first 2020 presidential debate as President Trump and Democratic challenger Joe Biden prepare to square off on the debate stage. The debate was supposed to take place at the University of Notre Dame, but the university withdrew because of COVID-19 concerns. So tomorrow night, the president and former vice president will head to Cleveland instead. Case Western Reserve University and the Cleveland Clinic will host the 90-minute debate. We spoke to some local voters who want to tune in for the event and to the chairpersons of the local political parties about what they want to see play out on stage.
Right now, my life's been pretty busy, so I haven't been able to catch up on anything, but it's very important, and I'm going to try my best to keep updated on everything right now.
The debate will show how committed you are and what your issues are, and not evading, the issues instead of, going off on some other tangent.
I think the voters know who Donald Trump is, but they don't know who Joe Biden is. Joe Biden talks a line that is now quite different from when he served in the United States Senate and as a vice president under Barack Obama.
We do see a lot of polarization going on right now, but I think that's because it's more of the squeaky wheel gets the grease. The people that are out there and on the extremes, I think the majority of Americans are not on extremes, and they want to see what their candidates have to say.
You can expect President Trump to be asked about a new report by the New York Times documenting that he paid only $750 in federal income tax for when he last ran for president and then during his first year in the White House. Fort Wayne's NBC News reporter Jeff Newmeyer will be in Cleveland tomorrow to bring us live coverage of the preparations for the debate during our newscasts at 5 and 6. The debate starts right here on Fort Wayne's NBC at 9 p.m. We'll have live analysis at 11 from leaders in both their local Republican and Democratic parties. Linda?
All right, Tom. Well, several local organizations are teaming up to offer voters who have disabilities free rides to the Coliseum for early voting to help avoid crowds. Folks from Greater Fort Wayne, Inc. and the Northeast Indiana Disabilities Advocacy Coalition made the announcement today. Officials with the Community Transportation Network, or CTN, say you can reserve a ride for yourself and one other person, and there are 300 openings. And they tell us they'll pick you up and take you to the early polling site October 19th through the 23rd. Registration for the free rides begins today, and it continues through October 8th. Officials say their vehicles are fully accessible and big enough to allow for social distancing.
We will maintain social distancing of 6 feet apart, which is why we only put 3 people on our larger vehicles, and we do require masks for everybody. We want to keep everybody safe while we're doing this.
As we enter flu season and deal with the pandemic, we want to lessen the requirement of being there in a crowd. So if we can get people out to early vote, all the better.
Gingrich, along with the league, says according to the CDC, 40% of people with disabilities who were registered to vote in 2018 stayed away from the polls because of the fear of getting an illness.
It's going to be great from the minute you check in till the minute you check out.
Now that the Fort's downtown boutique hotel has a name, how about a tour of what they're calling the Bradley? Ground was broken in the spring of 2019 and it's now scheduled to open in the spring of 2021. It's over at the corner of Harrison and Main, and Linda is standing by in the studio with more on that. Hi, Linda.
All right, Tom. Well, the Bradley, it is named after the mother of a business pillar in the fort. And I recently ventured inside the construction project with hard hat and vest alongside the woman whose dream for this hotel is coming true, Barb Backard, co-founder of Vera Bradley. Most people in the fort would agree. The business and riverfront growth downtown is exciting.
I think the positioning of where the hotel is perfect. I love downtown.
It's the main reason Barbara Bradley Backard wanted to open the hotel she's dreamed of more than 15 years.
When my daughters got married, I remember thinking, where am I going to put the guests?
By definition, a boutique hotel is typically smaller with upscale design and friendly touches.
I think it feels homey, and I think it feels warm. It feels more like a guest house.
Given the pandemic, you might think the timing isn't the greatest to open a hotel. With the planned October 2020 opening delayed to April of 2021, Backard says she thinks the timing is right.
By delaying it, I think April's going to be perfect. People are going to be ready to hit the road again. Compared to a lot of people, what they're going through, I think we've been lucky.
Backyard and Pat Miller created Vera Bradley in the early 80s, named after Backyard's late mother. She says another opportunity to pay homage is a blessing.
My kids call them God winks, and occasionally I think this was a typical God wink.
Fort Wayne crews from Elevatus Architecture and Hagerman Construction are designing and building the Bradley. Providence Hotels out of Portland, Oregon will run it. The 5-story hotel will have 124 rooms, decorated, Backyard says, for all tastes, offering 9 suites that she says will be named after different Indiana cities.
You may stay in the Kokomo Suite or the Indy Suite, or, we're coming up with names like that. So we're keeping it very, very Indiana. If you'll notice, we have plaid in the drapes and then yet a floral on the headboard, different patterns, so it feels cozy and comfy. It's a soft shade of blue.
Add to that meeting rooms and a reception area, retail space, along with a restaurant and rooftop bar open to the public.
It's going to be really neat.
Backyard says she thinks when people stay at a hotel, they typically don't have a good reason to remember it. But she says because the Bradley is in Fort Wayne with its wonderful people, it will put the unique in boutique. She wants it to feel like home, as if you stayed at her home.
All these years I've been thinking about if I had a hotel, what would it look like? And this is both traveling in Europe and here. And this is like the bringing together all those ideas. So it's unique. There's not another one like it.
We think folks will remember their stay at the Bradley, and officials with Providence say they think that hotel should provide some 100 jobs and help generate millions in revenue for our city. And by the way, it did cost about $28 million to build. Also, Barb tells me she is loving her work these days after all these years and has no plans to retire, Tom.
That room is beautiful.
Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
Wonderfully decorated. All right. Thank you, Linda. The Allen County War Memorial Coliseum just hosted its first live music event since February and is about to host another outdoor concert tomorrow. Christian music group Casting Crowns will take the stage in the parking lot. Here's what Friday's Country Night concert looked like. You see the video there. Groups remaining in between cars to encourage social distancing. The Coliseum's general manager says about 2,000 people were there and everything went really well.
Nobody's worked since February to speak of, and even the artists on stage were just so excited to be working in front of an audience again, and crowd felt the same way. They haven't been to a live concert experience in so long. We had no issues, no arrests, really no issues at all. People were just happy to be out to a party, and it really was a party.
Brown says he expects to see at least 200 people tomorrow night. He says even with these live events, though, he expects the Coliseum to finish the year about $3 million in the red.
Aaron's House for Grieving Children is hosting the annual Wine for the Spirit fundraising gala virtually this year. That event is in its 15th year. The bidding begins in less than an hour at midnight and it runs through Friday at 10 in the evening. There are 50 to 60 different items and packages up for bid, including trips, unique experiences, jewelry, expensive libations, and some smaller items and gift cards from local companies.
We were a little bit hesitant towards asking some of our local companies for donations right now because we know that everyone is struggling through this pandemic. And so it was a little bit tough for us to ask them to give back on top of everything. So we've been blown away with everyone's generosity. It's been great.
I serve on the board. People have been very generous. Proceeds from the auction do support programs for children and their families who experience the loss of a loved one. And if you'd like to bid, all you have to do is go to aaronshouse.org for a link to register for the live auction. Again, this all begins tonight at midnight. I think we might get in on the action, right, Tom?
Well, yeah, as I was
thinking about it.
As I was watching the video there, I thought, maybe I'd like to have that.
I'm hearing you. All right, still to come on Fort Wayne's NBC News at 11. After a beautiful weekend, Monday we bring in some colder, soggier conditions. Will the skies clear for the rest of the week? Chris will let us know.